have also some other options, but we don't care here. So we just click on File, and we will select, in fact, the file we want to load. So you just have to click here on the 3 points, and you will have to point the folder where you stored the admin express files. So for me, it will be here. So you have admin express, and you can see that we have the list of all the files. Maybe I'm going too fast. No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's following?
Yes.
Okay, so here we can see that we have all the files, but maybe to make it more simple for us, we can just filter and just focus on the shape files. So to do so, we just have here to filter, and instead of all files, here we can select S3 shapefile. So you can see in the same time that you can, with QGIS, you are able to read, to open a lot of different file formats. Right? So in the list, you can just select S3 shapefiles. So you have the filter, which is here. Maybe I can resize. You have here and S3 shapefiles. Once you selected this, you will see that here we only have the 4 shapefiles. Of course, when you will load this file, QGIS will also open the PDF and the SHX and everything else. It's transparent for you. Okay, so you can select the one you want, but you can also select different file by pressing Control. You know this shortcut, Control, and you click. So you select different. Or you can also select everything like. Okay, so we can load these 4 files. So you just select them and then press Open. So they are listed here. All right. So we have also some options about the encoding and so on, but here we don't care. So you just press Add, and you can close this panel. So you should have something like this. All right.
Yes.
Maybe the color is different. Yeah. So the default. That's because you're on Mac. No, you refresh. Okay. You got a message or something or no? Okay, you just want to sleep. But this is the only computer or just QGIS? Just QGIS. Okay. And if you so we have our 4 layers. So on the layers panel, you have the possibility to check to make visible or not the layers. Okay. You can also you just click to make it visible or not. Right? Then you also have the possibility to change the order. So to change the order, you just have to select. For example, if we have region, I want to put it in the last position to be on the bottom. So you just drag and drop like this. Okay, so for example, you can change the order to have chef-lieu commune first, and then commune, department, and region. Okay, so you can try. You just press with the mouse. So it's preferable when you are using a GIS application to have a mouse. It's up to you, but it's more easy to manipulate. All right. So we also have information here. You can see that we have some icons here telling you what type of vector information we have inside the layer. So here we have point. So it means that we have points layer. Here we have a square. It means that it's a surface, a polygon vector layer. And if we had, for example, line string, you have a line here. So it gives you an indication about the type of geometry you have inside your layer. All right? Okay, so you can, maybe you already started to navigate into the map. So if you just use the wheel of your mouse, you will be able to zoom in, zoom out. Okay. So with the wheel of the mouse, you can zoom in, zoom out. Ah, you have to find not? Yes. Where is not? It's a good game.
Say like
Where is not?
more division.
Yeah. I give you some time to find, but you have to follow the Loire River, which is here, the Loire River. And then not as a very rare shape. It's here. Yes, it's here. You have not, which is very strange. And you have the Loire, which is here. Right. You also have the possibility to move the map using what we call the pan, the black N here. So in this case, you just have to press the left button of your mouse and you will be able to move without changing the scale. All right. So all this is the default tool which is activated here. Okay. Using these tools, you have the possibility also to zoom in, zoom out, but by drawing some rectangles. For example, if I click here on zoom in, so I can just click one time. So I will increase the scale of one step, but I can also draw a rectangle like this. And this way I will make a zoom on this rectangle, right? So you can try. You have the same with zoom out. So you can click and you will go back. And you can also draw a rectangle, but for me it makes no sense. You can draw a rectangle to zoom out. I don't know why they put this functionality. It's a bit weird, but it works. Right? Okay, so zoom in, zoom out. Then you have zoom full, also called full extend zoom in other application. So here, if you click, you will make a full extend zoom on the bounding box of all the layers. So what is a bounding box? A bounding box, let's say you have your geometry, which is like this. The bounding box, this is the rectangle in which you can put your geometry. It's based, in fact, on the x, y mean and maximum coordinates. All right? Also called envelope. Right? So when you're clicking here, QGIS is building all the bounding box of the layers that you have here, and it will zoom on the common bounding box. So if you have, for example, so here in our case, we have 4 layers that are on the same area, France. So there is no problem. In this case, when you click here, it will be for all points. But imagine you have one other layer, which is, for example, which has the a shape like this, for example. So the big box of this one will be this. And if you click here, QGIS will say, okay, it will be this one. Okay? So here it's the bounding box of all the layers that are here. All right? Okay? And of course, we will see that we have possibility to zoom on the specific layer. For example, on the blue one, it's possible, of course. Okay. So then you have some option to go back on the previous zoom, for example, or on the following, and that's it. Okay. Then we have the property of no. We have different possibility to on a specific layer. So if you click on commune, for example, and if you make a right click, you have different options. So first, zoom to layers. So here in this case, it will be a B box. We will zoom on the B box of this specific layer, right? So if I click here, so it's the same because they all have the same B box, but you get the idea. You have some options to show the feature count. So it's not. It may be interesting in some cases. So here you have, in this case, the number of features that you have inside this layer, right? Then, so you can rename the layer. So let's say, for example, for chef-lieu commune, I want to, so you can say chef, yes, for example. That's it. So it can be useful because you will see that sometimes the GIS layers, they have strange names. Right? Then you can duplicate the layer. You can also remove the layer, so you can remove it from QGIS, not on your hard drive. Okay? So change the order, but we saw just before that you can do the same by just dragging the layer. You can start the edition. We will see after how it works. You can change the coordinate reference system. We will talk about this after. You can export it, change the style. So, for example, if you want to change the color in very quick way, you have the possibility here, for example, using this wheel to change the color of your layer. Right? And you also have the properties. So if we go to properties, so I repeat, you just make a right click on the layer, then you have properties. So here you have different options on the tab on the left. So first you have information. So here you have information about the layer. So you have the file, where is it? Where it is stored. You have also the file format. We have the extent, the feature counts. We have the coordinate reference system. So we can see that here the PLG file has been detected by QGIS. It automatically knows that this is a Lambert 93. All right. You also have information about the column that we have inside for all the attributes. We will see the table after. So many information. Then we have some options, for example, to rename the layer. So it's the same as we did before for chef-lieu, for example. You can change also the encoding. It can be useful if you have some data set on country where you have special characters, for example. Chinese, I don't know. There is many languages where you have special characters, and you can need a special encoding to detect these characters. Yeah, you have information about the coordinate system and so on. Then you have symbology. So here, this is the place where you will be able to change the representation of the layer. We will see, we will go back to this after. Then you have the possibility to add labels. So it's like text on the map to describe some objects. Let's say, for example, the name of the region. So mass review, we don't care. Here you have information about the columns that you have inside the table. So you can edit, change, add or remove columns. And yeah, that's it. More. There is a lot of other possibility, but for this moment, we don't have about it. Okay. So let's go, for example, to region. So now we want to see the attribute table. So you can just make a right click and you have open attribute table. And you also have a shortcut which is here. If you see the mouse, if you click here, it will be the same. You will open the attribute table. So you should have this, so you can resize the panel. So it's like an Excel file. You can change the size of the column. And in our case, we can see that we have only 4 columns, right? The ID, the name in uppercase, the name in lowercase, and the region code. Yeah. Okay. So if you click, if you select one object, so for example, if you click on Normandy, let's say, you can see that automatically the object is colored in yellow on the map, right? So Pays de la Loire, for example, you can select different like this. So it means that there is a dynamic link between the map and the table, right? So you can try to select some features like this. In the same time, so when you are selecting, you can see that here you have on the top, you have the name of the layer, you have the total number of features, and you have the number of selected objects. So here in my case, I just selected 4 of them. If I select 2, you can see that you have the number of the features. Okay? Then, so you have some option to unselect everything. So if you click on this, you will unselect everything. You have also the possibility to invert the selection. It can be sometimes very useful. Let's say you have a huge table with millions of lines and you want to select everything which except some of them. And in fact, sometimes it's easier to select the some of them and then to invert the selection. So if you click here, for example, everything is selected except the 2 I selected before. Okay, you can select everything. Okay, then you have here some options. Instead of show all features, you can filter, in fact. So you can only select, show the selected one. For example, if I select 2 of them and I click here on show selected features, I only have the 2 ones in the table. They are filtered, right? So to do so, you just have to select some of them and then we can show selected features. You can also ask to show only the features that are visible to the map. Let's say if you zoom on a specific area and you want to see on the table only the features that are displayed on the map, it can be sometimes very useful. Okay, some other options, and then you also have field filter. So field filter, it's a way to search information, in fact, to make some query. Um, so for example, I want to select the Bretagne region. So I will select, for example, nom M, so it's that it's in uppercase, and I will say, for example, so Bretagne. Voilà. So you can see that the app is showing you some possibility. So here, Bretagne, and if you press enter, you have the result. Okay, so it's a way to make some simple query. So you can try with another one. Let's say, for example, Normandy. Yeah, is it working? Yes.
I can't select anything.
If you have to click on the yeah, it's a bit strange, but when you want to select an object and to highlight it on the map, you have to click on the number on the first row like this. If you don't do so, it will not be selected in the map. All right. So, for example, if you close this table and if we go back to department tracker, for example, so you will open the attribute table of the table of the layer department. So you open the layer, the table, sorry. So for the department layer, we can see that we have more or less the same columns, except we have in addition INSEE reg, for example. So this is the number of the region in which the department is. So let's say, for example, I want to have all the departments that are in the region, let's say 27, I don't know, this one, for example. So you just have to make here to select field filter. You select INSEE reg, so reg stands for region, and let's say 27, for example. And you have all the departments that are in this region. And if you want to see where they are, you can just select them. And you can see that all the departments that are belonging to this region are selected.
It is select all.
Yeah, and then you have to and filtre des comfort and insert and you just enter 27 and press enter. That's it. And then if you want to show them, to see them, you have to select them. So click yeah, like this.
Professor, I need help. Like I tried, but it's not working. I know 27.
Yes, and then you press enter. Uh,
Is it this right?
yeah, it should be. Uh-huh. You are on the department. Do again. So 27. What?
It's not working. Either shall I close the region?
No, no, it should be okay.
Since it's already showing it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's already filtered.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I have to select them all.
In this case, you have to select. So you have to click here, and then you can press. What is it? It's Maj.
Shift.
shift to the last one.
Okay.
Yes, and this way.
Okay. Thank you. It's the same way to see you.
Okay, this is a very simple way to filter information inside the table. But you can see that you also have the possibility to make more complex filtering. Maybe we'll see it. You just check before. Yeah, we more see with the layer commune because we have more information. So if we go back to layer commune, so we can see that we have more information. And if we have a look to the table, so once again, open attributes table. So we are on the layer commune. So we have more columns. So here we have the ID, the name in lowercase, the name in uppercase, the INSEE code. This is something which is very important in France. Maybe you know what is the postal code. Yeah?
Yes.
But in fact, the postal code is just to send mail. And the problem is that there is many cities that have the same postal code. And in the same way, you have some cities that have various postal code. For example, in Nantes, you have yeah, you have 44,000. You have 1, 2, 3, and so on. So, in fact, this is a problem because it's not possible to identify in a very unique way a city if you use the postal code. You understand? Because some of them, they will have the same postal code, and some of them, they will have different postal code. So it's not possible to identify using it. So we, to have a unique ID, in fact, we created what we call the code INSEE, also called the COG, OG. It's the same, it's a unique ID, which is in fact 5 characters. You have it here. So in fact, the two first one are the code of the department. Okay, the two first one, this is the code of the department. So for example, we are here in the department of Loire-Atlantique. The code is 44. Okay, and then the 3 other numbers. These are the order in the alphabet. This is the number, the rank in the alphabetical order in the department. Right? This is the rank in the alphabetical order. So, for example, for Nantes, the INSEE code is 44109. It's like this because in the list, if you sort in the alphabetical order all the cities in the department 44, Nantes is in the rank 109. Right? So this is a unique way to identify a city. One question. You see that we have all everything is here is on this screen is numbers, but in fact this information has to be stored as a text information. Do you know why?
Some of them have letters.
Sorry?
Some of them have letters in them.
Yes. Which one? You saw it?
Piano, Soli,
Yeah, in fact, we have a strange situation in France. Everything is number except for Corsica Island. You know Corsica? You know Corsica, it's this is Corsica. Okay, so just for this island, in fact, the departments are 2A, 2B. Why? I don't know. But just because of them, we have to store all this information into text instead of numbers, right? Because you have A and B here. So this is, in France, we love to make complex when it's possible to make simple. So, so I don't know why it's like this. So that's why you have the department 18, 19, and then 2A, 2B, 21, 20, and so on. There is no 20, department 20. Okay, so this is the text information. So we have to go back to the table. We have the INSEE code. So this way we are sure to identify a city in a unique way. We have some information about the status. So it's a simple city and so on and so on, but we don't care. We have the population. And then we have some ID telling if in which canton, arrondissement, department, and region the city is. Okay, so if you remember, I told you last week that in fact we have many different layers. We have France, region, department, cities, and so on, but we also have what we call canton and arrondissement. It's more for the election. But you have all this information. Okay, so let's say we want to filter all the cities that are in the department 44, for example. Okay, so how to do this? So we just have to click here, filter. We have the information about the department in CZ. And so if you click, and if you enter 44, press enter, and you have all the cities that are in the department. So
What does that mean legally? Is it like administrative division?
sorry?
Department, does that mean administrative division of?
Yes, exactly.
Bigger than June or?
Yeah, in fact, it's a way to each department or each region, they have the power to do some different things, and they have money to do this. And for example, in France, the schools for children for children, they belong to the cities. Then we have what we call the college. It's not the college like in US. It's between 11 and 14 years old, something like this. It belongs to the department. And then we have what we call the lycée, just before the university. It belongs to the region, for example. Okay, and so each different levels, they have some responsibility, and it's the same, for example, for the roads. You have some roads that belong to the cities, some other for the department, and so on. So yeah. Okay, so is it working? So you should have yes, maybe. Okay, so here we can see the cities from department 44, right? And so I told you that there is also a way to make more complex query, because here it's very simple since we are using only one constraint on the column department. For example, we just want to have 44, but we can do more complex. So instead of selecting just these cities, I want to have a constraint about the population, for example. So to do so, you just have to go here and advanced filter. Right? So here you can see that the previous constraint is already written. So we have colon instead. I like it's an operator to say. In fact, I want to have something which is like you didn't practice SQL language? No, nobody knows. Okay, you. Okay, so it's a query language to manipulate table information. And but here we want to add another constraint, so which is about the population. So we will add a logical operator to say I want to have both constraints. So this logical operator will be and. So you just enter and then you have some tools here to help you construct your query. So for example, in fields on value, you have the view of the column that are in the table. So let's say, for example, you will click on population, so you just make a double click. Just make a double click on population. And let's say, for example, I want to have the cities that are in department 44 and where the population is less than, I don't know, 10,000, for example. So you just enter your query. Ah, yeah, oui, c'est ouais. Mais sinon, tu peux aussi, you can also use the search engine. If you are lost in the different possibility, if you search, for example, population, you can see that it's filtered. So, or you can also write directly. It's just a way to help you write queries and avoid errors. Right? So once it's okay, you can press OK, and you should see the result. I don't know if there is some result. Less than 10,000.
Okay, so you have your
I should have read it.
How do you do that? Like, how do you find out the table income for population?
Where is the population layer written in this?
In fact, they are all less. Okay, so maybe we can change the value. Yeah, let's say 5. So in the same time, you can see that if the query has been written here in this part, so you can execute, but change the parameter and execute again, it will be the same. So yeah, in this case, if you say less than 5,000, you should have only 145 cities. It's working or not?
Yes.
Why it's not showing?
You need to select
You have to, yeah, you have to unselect yeah. Because it has been filtered. Then it's been filtered, and you have to select again. And yeah, here we are.
Is anyone laptop has charge? Who's
Okay, so it's break time.
yeah, yeah,
So we can do the break if you want.
yeah, I will give you one. Yeah.